Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio. And Monday Night Raw tonight, I thought it was a solid show in my opinion. Of course, the show revolved around tonight with Rhea Ripley addressing Dominik, and Dominik trying to apologize to Rhea Ripley after what's been going on while Rhea Ripley was out. Liv Morgan, and Dominik, that whole situation. So now it has revolved into a love triangle with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Dominik trying to get his affections on either Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan. So that was what the show revolved around tonight. But also tonight on the show, we saw Sheamus. He had taken on Bronson Reed. Sonia Deville was in action after, her returning, to Monday Night Raw. She had taken on Zelina Vega. We had Damian Priest. He had taken on Braun Strowman. Kayden and Katana Chance were in action and have taken on Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. We had Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso, and you have taken on Dominik Mysterio. And the main event, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line where Sami Zayn defended the title against Ilja Dragunov. But overall, Monday Night Raw, it was a solid show tonight, in my opinion. But before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, I did a movie review of Looking for Mr. Goodbar, which starred Diane Keaton. So if you guys haven't checked out my review of that film, definitely go check it out. I just couldn't get into that film, and I go into, what the film is about. So check out my review of that if you guys haven't seen it. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw open up tonight with Mommy Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was shown she stepped off an elevator and she started walking backstage, and she made her way down, the tunnel which goes through, gorilla position, and she headed to the stage, and she got a big pop from the crowd there in Dayton. So she walked down the ramp, she got into the ring. The crowd was chanting Mommy for Rhea. So Rhea got on the mic. She kept saying, Monday Night Raw, Mommy's home. So Rhea ended up saying that it's been a few months since she's been in the ring. It's been 3 months, since she was in the ring. She kept saying that's because of one person, and that one person was Liv Morgan. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that she has seen Liv Morgan run around with something of hers, and it's not Dominik. To which Rhea ended up saying that she'll handle Dominik later. So Rhea ended up saying that Liv Morgan is walking around with something she never lost, and that was the Women's World Championship. She ended up saying that Liv Morgan thinks she took her out, but all she really did was piss her off. So Rhea ended up wanting Liv Morgan to come out so that she can rip Liv apart. But Rhea did not get Liv Morgan. She got Dominik Mysterio. So Dominik came out. He was carrying a black rose. He was shown wearing a cowskin vest. So Dominik began to speak, and of course, the crowd ended up booing him, and of course, you got the piped-in boos as well. So Dominik got into the ring, and he kept saying, Mamacita, to Rhea Ripley. Rhea then turned her back on Dominik. So Dominik cautiously approached Rhea Ripley. And then we heard Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan appeared on the Titantron. she kept going, Rhea, oh Rhea. Liv Morgan ended up saying that she apologizes for her voice. She ended up saying that she had a long weekend in Mexico and has always been a screamer. To which Liv ended up saying, hi, Daddy Dom. So Liv distinguishedly asked how Rhea Ripley's shoulder is. So Liv Morgan ended up saying that her shoulder is fine because of the Women's World Championship. Liv ended up saying that Rhea knows for sure that she meant it when she said she wanted to take everything from her, even Dominik. She ended up saying that at first she didn't see what Rhea saw in Dominik, and that she was confused and just wanted to hurt Rhea. But then she got to spend time with Dominik, and she looked Dominik into his eyes and kissed him. Liv ended up saying that it all became very real to her, more real than what Rhea and Dominik had. So Liv ended up saying that since Rhea has been gone, she has Dominik all to herself. So Liv ended up saying that while Mommy might finally be home, she is finally on top. Liv is finally on top. So Dominik ended up cautiously saying, Mommy, it's not what it looks like. So Rhea ended up saying that she knew Liv Morgan would be too scared to come out and face her, and that Liv Morgan knows when she gets in Rhea's ring, the revenge tour ends. Rhea ended up saying that she waited 3 months for this, and that she thinks her patients can handle it a little longer. So Rhea ended up sending out a challenge. She ended up saying that at SummerSlam, it's her versus Liv Morgan for my Women's World Championship. So Liv Morgan ended up saying, Rhea, I always knew that the end game would be, them for the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan ended up saying that she's not going to run. And she warned Rhea Ripley that she's not the same person Rhea knew. Just like she helped Dominik beat his deadbeat dad, which Rhea couldn't do. And that she'll finally beat her. So Liv Morgan ended up accepting the challenge. And then Liv Morgan ended up saying, oh, and Daddy Dom, I hope to see you there too. So Liv Morgan blew a kiss, and, Liv Morgan ended up off the Titantron. Rhea Ripley ended up sneering at Dominik in the ring, and she started pacing around. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that she knows Liv Morgan is still listening and wants to say something loud and clear. Rhea Ripley ended up saying to Liv Morgan that at SummerSlam, I not only end your revenge tour, I not only end your title reign, I'm going to end your career. So Rhea ended up dropping the mic, and she had mouthed Liv Morgan's catchphrase, watch me. Rhea Ripley then blew a kiss, and she posed in the center of the ring. Dominik then ended up holding the ropes open for Rhea, but Rhea ended up angrily looking at Dominik. Rhea then walked off. Dominik ended up chasing after Rhea, and he still had the black rose in hand, to which Rhea ended up slapping away the black rose. So Rhea was mostly ignoring Dominik, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, I thought this was a good opening to Monday Night Raw here. Rhea Ripley starring off the show, and Dominik trying to, apologize to Rhea Ripley and win her back. But unfortunately, that ended up failing. And Dominik tried to, apologize to Rhea Ripley throughout the night, and he just ended up failing. So now it's going to be Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam for the Women's World Championship. But, with Liv saying to Dominik, I hope to see you there too. So this plays into, whether, Dominik is going to help Rhea Ripley win back the Women's World Championship, or will Dominik screw Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam and have Liv Morgan retain the title. In my mind, like I said, when Rhea comes back, the title's going to go back on Rhea Ripley, but I'm leaning towards, the second option, because I was thinking about it in my head. I'm like, all right, since Liv Morgan said to Dominik, I hope to see you there too. Will we see Dominik screw Rhea Ripley out of the Women's World Championship and having Liv Morgan retain the title? I think that's what's going to happen. So that's my prediction come SummerSlam. And then we had Dominik Mysterio. As Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, he was chasing after Rhea Ripley backstage. Rhea Ripley walked ahead of Dominik and paid Dominik no mind. Rhea then entered the Judgment Day's clubhouse, and she saw bouquets of black roses. So she turned to Dom, and she ended up saying, "What the hell is all this?" Dominik ended up telling Rhea that he's trying to make it up to her. Rhea then slammed the door in Dominik's face. Dominik turned and saw Damian Priest stand there, having a smirk on his face. Priest ended up asking Dominik if everything is okay. Rhea Ripley opened the door. She ended up throwing the black roses into Dominik's face, and she shoved a statue of a dog into his chest. And then Rhea slammed the door again, and Priest was amused. Dominik ended up saying to Priest that it's a little complicated. And pretty much that was basically that. And then we had the first match of the night. Sheamus versus Bronson Reed. And Sheamus got new theme music tonight, which his new theme music is absolutely awful, absolutely terrible. But why did they need to give Sheamus new theme music? What was wrong with his old theme music? I'll never understand why WWE has to, give new theme music to their stars when there's absolutely nothing wrong with their old theme music. I don't understand. But this was a decent match here. So we had the match end up beginning, and both Sheamus and Bronson Reed were delivering clubs to the face. Reed ended up reversing the whip into the corner. Sheamus ended up booting Bronson Reed back. He ended up going for a shoulder tackle, but Bronson Reed didn't go down. It did nothing to Bronson Reed. Sheamus then hit the ropes. Bronson Reed ended up shoulder tackling Sheamus. Reed ended up hitting a snapmare, and he ended up flattening Sheamus with a rolling senton. Sheamus fought back with a shot to Reed's midsection. He delivered some uppercuts to Reed. Sheamus ended up kicking Reed and tried to lift him up, but Reed elbowed Sheamus down. Reed then headbutted Sheamus down onto the canvas, and he ended up getting Sheamus in the corner to deliver a chop. Sheamus ended up fighting out of the corner and shoulder tackled Bronson Reed out of the ring. Sheamus ended up kneeing Reed in the face, and Sheamus then set up for the 10 beats of the bottom, but Reed ended up fighting out, and he pulled Sheamus out of the ring. Reed came off the apron with a flying shoulder tackle to Sheamus. Reed then sent Sheamus over the commentary table. Reed got back into the ring to break up the ref's count. Reed then approached Sheamus, but Sheamus bounced Reed off of the commentary table. And Sheamus then delivered the 10 beats of the bottom to Reed on the table, on the commentary table. So then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Bronson Reed was in control of the match. He started punching Sheamus down. Sheamus ended up getting to his feet, and he started punching back at Bronson Reed. Sheamus ended up hitting a pair of short arm clotheslines, but Reed didn't even go down. So Sheamus ended up hitting another clothesline, which that sent Reed down to his knees. Sheamus ended up getting fired up, and he delivered a fourth clothesline, finally taking Bronson Reed down. Sheamus got Reed on his shoulders, and Sheamus ended up hitting a white noise on Bronson Reed, which that white noise looked impressive. So Sheamus ended up going for the cover. Reed ended up kicking out. Sheamus then ended up heading to the top rope. He went for a diving clothesline, but Reed ended up sidestepping Sheamus. Sheamus ended up rolling through. He charged at Reed, but Reed countered with a set-out powerbomb to Sheamus. So Reed ended up going for the cover, and Sheamus kicked out. Reed ended up going up to the top rope for a moonsault, but Sheamus moved out of the way. So Sheamus ended up smashing Reed in the jaw with a vicious knee to Reed's face. So Sheamus ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Sheamus ended up winning the match. Post-match, Sheamus celebrated on the turnbuckles. Bronson Reed was irate. He ended up charging to attack Sheamus from behind, but Pete Dunne ended up intercepting. He ended up hitting a Busaiku knee kick to Reed. Sheamus then extended his hand to thank Pete Dunne, but Pete Dunne angrily walked off on Sheamus. So Sheamus ended up turning, and Pete Dunne ended up attacking Sheamus from behind. And so Pete Dunne ended up walking off. Bronson Reed took advantage of Pete Dunne laying out Sheamus, and Bronson Reed headed to the top rope. So Bronson Reed ended up delivering the tsunami to Sheamus. And pretty much that was basically that. So Pete Dunne did not forget Sheamus walking away from the Brawling Brutes. So he's still pissed off about that. So what I think this is set up for is Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. So we are eventually going to see that. But overall, decent match it was between Sheamus and Bronson Reed. And then we saw Damian Priest. Damian Priest was at Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day Clubhouse. And the rest of the Judgment Day was there. You know, Baszler, JD McDonough, Carlito. Dominik wasn't there. And they were all playing 2K24. So Priest ended up telling Rhea that it's great to have her back. So Rhea ended up appreciating Priest holding everything down while she was out. Rhea ended up saying that Priest still has a lot on his plate, and he is meeting with Gunther and facing Braun Strowman later on tonight. Priest ended up saying that he's got all of this. So Rhea Ripley ended up asking why Carlito is hanging out in the clubhouse. So before Priest could explain to Rhea why Carlito is with them, Dominik walked up, and he ended up asking for a moment. So Rhea Ripley ripped the rose up in Dominik's face. Dominik ended up saying to Rhea that he's been trying to reach her all week. So Rhea ended up asking Dominik where he was the last 3 months that she's been injured. Was he too busy with his girlfriend? So Rhea stormed off. Carlito came up to Dominik. He was playing, obviously, Captain Obvious. And he said to Dominik, she's angry, huh? And pretty much that was basically that. So another fail on Dominik to trying to apologize to Rhea Ripley. And then we saw Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was walking backstage, and Ilja Dragunov, his opponent for later on in the night, stopped him. Dragunov ended up telling Sami that he appreciates getting a title opportunity, but he hopes it wasn't because he helped him last week. Sami Zayn ended up saying to Dragunov that he asked Adam Pearce for this. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he has been watching Dragunov for a while, and he ended up saying that Dragunov is a special talent, which obviously he's right about. Dragunov is a special talent. He's just absolutely great in the ring. You know, when you have Dragunov in the match, you know the match is going to be great. So Sami ended up saying that Dragunov reminds him of himself. So Sami ended up saying that when Dragunov is deep in the fight, his hair is messed up, his face is beet red, and there are welts on his body. And that he fights like his life depends on it. He ended up saying that's the kind of person that deserves a chance at the Intercontinental Championship. So Sami Zayn ended up warning Dragunov that he better bring his absolute best. And Dragunov then ended up saying to Sami, you better do the same. So Dragunov ended up walking off, and pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond ended up interviewing Zelina Vega early in the day. Redmond ended up asking Vega how Rhea Ripley's return impacts her chase at the Women's World Championship. Zelina Vega ended up saying to Jackie Redmond that once the weird love triangle gets sorted out, she'll go to the front of the line because she would be champion if it wasn't for Dominik Mysterio. So Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoey Stark walked up to Zelina Vega. So Sonya Deville ended up saying to Zelina Vega that the line to the front goes through them. And Zelina Vega ended up saying, oh, I couldn't hear anything past your forehead. So she ended up saying nothing will get in her way of getting to the Women's World Championship. Not Dominik's mustache or their mustaches. So Zelina Vega then challenged Sonya Deville to a match, to which Sonya Deville ended up accepting. So pretty much that was basically that. But why is Zelina Vega, chasing, want to chase after the Women's World Championship? What does she do to get an opportunity? Absolutely nothing. And then we had Zelina Vega versus Sonya Deville. This match lasted 1 minute. 1 minute. Match got underway. Sonya Deville ended up shoving Zelina Vega to the corner. Sonya Deville ended up catching Zelina Vega, trying to slingshot over her, but Zelina Vega countered into a tornado DDT. Zelina Vega ended up kicking Sonya Deville into the ropes and delivered the 619. Shayna Baszler quickly grabbed Zelina Vega's arm. Baszler wedged Vega's arm into the apron, and then she ended up kicking Zelina Vega's arm. And while this was happening, Zoey Stark distracted the ref. Sonya Deville quickly ended up hitting Zelina Vega with the advocate. She went for the cover, and there you go. Sonya Deville ended up winning the match. But this was Sonya Deville's, return match, since, coming back. And it was only a 1 minute match. Post-match, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoey Stark end up being down on Zelina Vega, and that led to Kayden Carter, Katana Chance, and Lyra Valkyria running down. So Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoey Stark end up retreating out of the ring, wanting nothing to do with Kayden Carter, Katana Chance, and Lyra Valkyria. And pretty much that was basically that. Overall, quick match it was. Lasted 1 minute. And then we had Damian Priest. Damian Priest was walking backstage, and Dominik ended up running up to Damian Priest. Dominik ended up asking Priest why he didn't tell him about Rhea Ripley last week. Priest ended up saying to Dom that he tried, but Dominik was too busy with Liv Morgan. Priest ended up saying that he gave Dominik advice, but Dominik lied about communicating with Rhea Ripley and ending things with Liv Morgan. And that led to Mr. Yeet. Main event Jey Uso walked up. And he ended up asking if it's true that Rhea Ripley is single and ready to mingle because he wants to holla. Priest then chuckled, and he ended up saying, maybe. Jey ended up telling them to let Rhea Ripley know he says hi, and ended up walking off. Priest then ended up telling Dominik that he's been in prison and can't let Jey talk to him like that. Dominik ended up saying that he needs to show where Rhea Ripley belongs and that he's going to handle this. So Priest ended up laughing, and pretty much that was basically that. So Jey Uso asking if Rhea Ripley is single and ready to mingle. man, everybody's got the hots for Rhea Ripley. Yeah, Buddy Matthews is probably jealous that everyone wants his wife. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was talking to some refs, and Chad Gable barged into his office. Chad Gable ended up telling Adam Pearce that he cracked the code and figured out that Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. No shit. No shit, Chad Gable. So Chad Gable ended up knowing that Pearce met with Bo Dallas last week and wants to know what disciplinary actions will be taken. Pearce ended up saying to Gable that it's privileged information, but Bo Dallas is in the building. He ended up saying that if Gable wants to talk to Bo Dallas, he can do it later on tonight. Gable ended up saying that he'll handle it himself, and that he'll call Bo Dallas out tonight. So Chad Gable walked off, and he ended up saying, pathetic. So that was that. And then Damian Priest. Damian Priest made his way to the ring. This was for him and Gunther to go face to face. Priest ended up getting a good ovation there in Dayton. He got on the mic. He ended up saying, Dayton, Ohio, all rise for El Campeón. Priest ended up saying that he's out here because he has a match against Braun Strowman, but he knows what was advertised. So Priest then ended up calling Gunther out for the face-to-face. So Gunther ended up making his way to the ring. Of course, Gunther ended up winning the King of the Ring to earn a shot against Damian Priest for the World Championship at SummerSlam. So Gunther got into the ring. He ended up saying, ladies and gentlemen, the World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther ended up saying that Priest still looks confident as he carries the weight of the world on his shoulders. He ended up saying that Priest is carrying Monday Night Raw and living out his childhood dream of being World Heavyweight Champion. So Gunther ended up saying that while he was away, he paid close attention. So Gunther ended up saying that he will share his assessment. He ended up saying that Priest is not living up to it, and that Priest's reign has been nothing. He ended up saying that there's no prestige or contributions. He ended up saying that they're not cut from the same cloth. Gunther ended up saying that he comes in good spirits and wants to do Priest a favor. He ended up saying that he'll lift the weight off Priest's shoulders and spare him the embarrassment at SummerSlam. So Gunther ended up telling Priest to hand him his title, and they can move on. Priest ended up saying to Gunther that he wishes it was SummerSlam so he can knock that stupid smirk off Gunther's face. Priest ended up mentioning that this was never Gunther's dream, and that while Gunther was getting everything handed to him, he was literally fighting for his life on the streets. Priest ended up saying that he fought for 20 years to get here, and not just win the World Championship. He ended up saying that if this isn't Gunther's dream, they don't need him here. Priest ended up saying that he knows Gunther is good, and that he doesn't give a damn. Priest ended up saying that he earned this, and that Gunther is the last person to take the World Heavyweight Championship from him. So Gunther ended up saying that he recognizes Priest's hardship and won't question his street credibility, but being on the street is a choice. So Gunther ended up saying that his parents set him up for success, and that he shouldn't blame Damian Priest's parents not teaching him how to have a good life. So Gunther ended up saying that while Priest was fighting for his life on the streets, he was getting calls from WWE begging him to come to the company. He ended up saying that they wanted to prevent people like Priest from getting into the position of the World Heavyweight Champion. So Gunther ended up saying that he doesn't understand why all the people don't love Priest to death, and that they're just like him. He ended up saying no matter what they achieve in life, they'll always be street trash. To which the crowd booed Gunther. So Priest looked down in anger, and he repeated, street trash. Priest ended up saying that for someone who claims to have such clarity, it's crazy that he doesn't see what is coming at him. He ended up saying that's the same reason Gunther lost the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Priest ended up saying that Gunther has no heart and doesn't know what it's like to fight for everything he has. He ended up saying that at SummerSlam, he'll remain El Campeon. So Priest ended up saying that for the first time in his life, Gunther will fight from the bottom because he has nothing. He ended up saying that maybe they'll find out after SummerSlam if Gunther is something more than a boring, conceited, privileged scumbag. So Gunther then furiously got in Damian Priest's face, and they didn't come to blows because Braun Strowman made his way out. And pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But I thought this was a very good segment here. You know, with Gunther coming out there, you know, talking about, oh, you know, Priest was carrying Monday Night Raw and living out his childhood dream. While he was away, he paid close attention. So it's going to be a good match between Gunther and Damian Priest at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. So with this, you know, segment here, you know, Damian Priest, you know, pretty much became a babyface here. So at the, you know, at the promo that he was given, and then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Adam Pearce was backstage with Jey Uso. Pearce ended up saying that Jey will be facing Dominik later on tonight. So Jey was pleased, and he walked off. And that led to Braun Breaker walking up to Adam Pearce. Braun Breaker was not happy that Dragunov is getting the Intercontinental Championship match. Pearce ended up saying that Braun Breaker lost at Money in the Bank, and Sami Zayn asked for the match. Breaker ended up saying that he has no respect for both Adam Pearce or Sami Zayn. Breaker ended up saying that he'll destroy everyone in the match. Pearce ended up saying that he figured that would happen. So Pearce ended up calling for security. Braun Breaker ended up saying that he knows his way out, and he walked off. Pearce then ended up telling security to make sure that Braun Breaker leaves the arena. And pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Damian Priest versus Braun Strowman. This was an okay match here. So both guys ended up locking up. Strowman shoved Priest away. Priest ducked the clothesline from Strowman, and he ended up kicking him. Strowman ended up going after Priest in the corner. Priest sidestepped Strowman, and he ended up kicking away at Strowman. Strowman ended up going for a short arm clothesline, but Priest ducked and ended up kicking Strowman in his head. Strowman ended up quickly catching Priest, but Priest ended up finding out. Priest then started kicking away at Strowman, but Strowman threw Priest across the ring. Strowman then attacked Priest in the corner. He then whipped Priest hard into the other corner and shoulder tackled him. Strowman then ended up giving Priest a clothesline over the top rope. Strowman was signaling for the Strowman Express, you know, to start. Strowman got out of the ring. He ended up charging at Priest, but Priest ended up sidestepping Strowman, and Strowman ended up running into the barricade. Strowman ended up going over the barricade and landed in the timekeeper's area, clutching his knee. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Priest was in control of the match. He worked on Strowman's knee. Strowman then hobbled around the ring. Priest stunned Strowman with a forearm to his face. Priest ended up charging at Strowman, but Strowman ended up hitting a pair of clotheslines to Priest. Strowman then ended up clubbing Priest in the chest. He ended up going for the cover, to which Priest ended up kicking out. So Strowman ended up waiting for Priest to get up. He ended up going for a choke slam, but Priest ended up goozling Strowman. Strowman ended up powering out. He ended up going for a choke slam, but Priest ended up getting out and kicked Strowman in his knee. So Priest then ended up flooring Strowman with a spin kick. Priest ended up charging at Strowman, but Strowman countered with a power slam attempt. Strowman's knee ended up giving out before he can hit the running power slam. So Priest avalanched Strowman in the corner, and he picked up Strowman and delivered the South of Heaven. So Priest ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Damian Priest ended up winning the match. Post-match, Gunther ended up charging down to the ring. He sneered at Priest. Gunther ended up chopping at Priest. Priest then started punching away at Gunther in the corner. Gunther fought back with a chop to Priest, but Priest floored Gunther with a clothesline. Gunther ended up retreating out of the ring, and that was basically that. But overall, okay match between Damian Priest and Braun Strowman here. And then we saw Otis, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree backstage. Maxine ended up saying that they should help him out because he's their friend. To which Tozawa and Otis ended up agreeing. So Chad Gable came up. He ended up saying that it sounds like they finally came around. Tozawa ended up saying that he doesn't know what's happening. Gable ended up saying that he figured out who Uncle Howdy is, and that's Bo Dallas. Once again, no shit, Chad Gable. So Maxine Dupree ended up saying that everyone knows that. Gable ended up saying that he's calling Bo Dallas out and will have his crew by his side. So Maxine ended up saying that they weren't talking about Chad Gable. And Xavier Woods walked up. Maxine Dupree ended up saying that Akira Tozawa and Otis want to stand with Xavier Woods against the Final Testament next week since Kofi was taken out by the Final Testament. So Chad Gable is not happy. Otis ended up saying that they're serious. And then Gable ended up walking off, and that was basically that. And then we had Kayden Carter and Katana Chance versus Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. And this was a meh matchup here. So we had Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark end up winning the match. Zoey Stark ended up launching Katana Chance into Shayna Baszler's knee. And that was basically that. Nothing great or perfect happened in this match for me to talk about. So overall, just a meh match it was. And, at least we got a short trailer for Twisters, which is coming out this week. And throughout the night, they were advertising Twisters. After a promo, after a match. So, Twisters was all over this show tonight, the advertising for it. But I'm looking forward to Twisters. I have my ticket for Thursday afternoon, so I'm going to see it Thursday afternoon. So hopefully it will be a enjoyable, fun film. Since I really enjoyed the first Twister film. And then we had Finn Balor and JD McDonough. They were talking with Rhea Ripley. Balor ended up saying that he wants to address the elephant in the room and acknowledges that Liv Morgan helped them win the titles. To which Rhea ended up saying that she is fine with that. And she ended up saying that Liv Morgan played her games and it didn't work. And at the end of the day, the tag titles are back where they belong. And Rhea ended up saying that soon she'll get her title back. Dominik walked up. He ended up saying Jey Uso was talking out of line about Rhea. So he got a match to teach him a lesson. So Rhea was like to Dominik, "Are you stupid?" And she ended up saying that she wants to know why Dominik would pick a fight with Jey Uso. Dominik ended up saying, "Oh, well, I'll go to Adam Pearce and cancel the match." So Rhea then ended up asking Dominik if he's a coward. Dominik ended up saying that he wants to show that she's still his mommy and that she belongs to him. So Carlito ended up coming up to Dominik. He ended up saying, "Dude, not cool." And pretty much that was that. And then we saw Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was in the ring as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial. Pearce ended up introducing Drew McIntyre to the ring. Drew McIntyre came out. He was in a leather kilt. And, of course, Drew McIntyre returns after being suspended after Money in the Bank. So, Drew McIntyre got into the ring. Of course, CM Punk chants started firing up from the crowd. Pierce ended up saying that he doesn't want to waste McIntyre's time. Or his time. Pierce ended up saying that he thinks we're on the verge of something special with Drew McIntyre. Adam Pearce ended up thinking that CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre could be special. And the match will be special when it happens. And I'm looking forward to it. Pearce ended up saying that he wants the match. And he thinks the crowd does too. Obviously, they want the match. Pearce ended up saying that he knows Punk is at home, like he requested, doing everything he can to get cleared. So Pearce ended up saying, how much does McIntyre want this match? To which McIntyre ended up saying that he wants this match more than anything in the world. Pearce then once again ended up saying that it could be special. So they need to leave the emotion, pettiness, and irrational and unprofessional behavior behind. Pearce ended up saying that if McIntyre can do that, he is ready to do business. So Pearce ended up telling McIntyre to look at him when he's talking to him. McIntyre ended up saying that he's ready to do business, and that he understands that Pearce had to do what he had to do last week. He ended up saying last week he had to watch Punk and Rollins in the ring from his couch, knowing that he should have been there. So McIntyre ended up asking if they're ready for him to face Punk at SummerSlam. He was asking the WWE Universe. So as the crowd ended up cheering, McIntyre smiled, ended up saying that they're ready. So McIntyre then ended up telling Pearce to make it official. So Pearce ended up saying that he loved nothing more than to do that. But McIntyre has to do one thing. So McIntyre ended up saying anything. So Pearce ended up calling the two refs, Rod Zapata and Danilo Anafebo. I think that's how you pronounce their names. Those are the two refs that McIntyre hit at Money in the Bank. Pearce ended up saying what happened at Money in the Bank was uncalled for, and that the two refs didn't deserve that. So Pearce then ended up telling McIntyre to apologize to them both. McIntyre then ended up asking Pearce why he should apologize. To which Pearce ended up telling McIntyre that the refs put their bodies on the line when they are in the ring, and that they were disrespected. McIntyre ended up saying that Pearce is trying to embarrass him. So McIntyre then told Pearce to make the match official between him and Punk. Pearce ended up saying that he wants McIntyre to acknowledge that the refs got hurt and that he should apologize for it. So McIntyre slowly walked up to the refs. The crowd were chanting, "Say you're sorry." McIntyre put his head down slowly. He took a deep breath. He kept saying, "No." Why would he apologize to the refs? He kept saying that the refs screwed him. McIntyre ended up saying, as for Pearce, this has happened under his watch. He kept saying everything with Punk from WrestleMania to Clash at the Castle in Scotland to Money in the Bank, he's been screwed. So McIntyre was like, oh, has Pearce interfered with Punk? No, it's only him. McIntyre ended up saying that Pearce deserved that elbow, and that Pearce should be apologizing to him. McIntyre ended up saying that everyone should be apologizing to him. McIntyre ended up saying that he wants Punk's head on a spike. He ended up saying that everyone is trying to screw him. So Pearce ended up saying that if McIntyre won't accept responsibility, then he will. To which Pearce ended up saying to McIntyre, "You are still suspended." So McIntyre then ended up pushing both of the refs down, and then he got in Adam Pearce's face. And that led to Seth Rollins running down. Seth Rollins then brawled with McIntyre. Rollins then superkicked McIntyre. He ended up going for the stomp, but McIntyre moved out of the way. Rollins then dared McIntyre to get into the ring. Security ran down, The crowd were singing along to Rollins' theme song. McIntyre then shoved through the security and he stormed off. And pretty much that was basically that. So they end up, making McIntyre, feel embarrassed tonight. But overall, I thought this was a, decent segment here. So then we saw a clip of what happened earlier today on the Pat McAfee show. So the Wyatt Six interrupted Pat McAfee's show. And of course, there was another package. And in that package, of course, was another VHS tape. So they ended up playing the tape. This time, on the tape, it was Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan was shown seated in a chair. Uncle Howdy ended up asking Eric Rowan, "How have you been?" Rowan ended up saying that the last few years have been very hard. Rowan ended up saying that he used to have a family, and that they were unstoppable and inspirable, and that they've always had each other's backs. He ended up saying that one day, poof, the whole world changed. So Rowan was emotional. He ended up saying that he lost a brother, and that he was the one person who believed in him. He ended up saying that it knocked him on his ass. He ended up saying that in those situations, you get up, wipe the dust off, and keep moving, because that's what you've got to do. He ended up saying life goes on. Just when he thought he had everything going, his other brother. So Rowan began to weep. He ended up saying that his other brother was gone too. Rowan ended up saying that he had no more family or will. He ended up saying that he fell down a well and couldn't get out. He ended up saying, why would he? He ended up saying that he felt catatonic and that he was numb to the world. He ended up saying, who is going to miss him? He's just Rowan. So Uncle Howdy ended up asking Rowan, how does that make you feel? So Eric Rowan's old sheep mask was handed to him. Of course, the sheep mask that Rowan wore in the Wyatt family. Rowan ended up saying that the mask gives him hope. He ended up saying when he was at his lowest, he reached out to him and pulled him up. Rowan ended up saying that he accepted his hand because he needed help. Rowan ended up saying that he got up and had a purpose to help those like himself. He ended up saying that mask reminds him of that beacon of hope. Rowan then ended up saying, we're going to take broken hearts and make beautiful art. And pretty much that was basically how, this promo ended with Eric Rowan. But really enjoyed this promo from Eric Rowan. Very emotional. And, you have the feels for Eric Rowan here. He lost, his family. He mentioned about, Bray Wyatt and also Brody Lee. Two guys, that he was, close with. They were his brothers to him. They were his family. And when they passed, when both Brody and Bray passed, Rowan ended up saying that he had no more family or will. So Eric Rowan, pretty much took it the hardest because he is now the only surviving Wyatt family member. So you really feel for Eric Rowan here. But thought this was a really good emotional promo from Eric Rowan. And then we had Dominik Mysterio versus Jey Uso. And this was a decent match here. Before the match got underway, Dominik ended up attacking Jey from behind and started stomping on him. The ref ended up backing Dom up. Jey Uso agreed to start the match. The bell ended up ringing. Jey ended up hitting some punches to Dominik, but Dominik ended up reversing the whip, and he connected with a drop kick to Jey. So Dominik ended up shouting, "That's my mommy," as Dominik started mounting Jey Uso with some punches. Dominik ended up getting Jey to his feet. He started punching him down, and he choked Jey on the bottom rope. Dominik then ended up stomping Jey back, and he put him in the corner. He ended up delivering some shoulder thrusts to Jey's midsection. Dominik connected with a snapmare, and he ended up hitting some crossfaces to Jey. So Dominik then locked in a chin lock on Jey. Jey fought up, but Dominik ended up cutting Jey off. Dominik started up the Three Amigos. Dominik ended up completing the Three Amigos on Jey, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Jey ended up kicking out. Dominik then waited for Jey to get up, and he drop kicked Jey into the middle rope. So Dominik ended up going for the 619, to which Jey ducked the 619, and he pulled the top rope down to get Dominik out of the ring. Jey ended up hitting the ropes. He ended up going for a suicide dive, but Dominik ended up punching Jey down. Dominik then ended up driving Jey into the ring post face first. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Dominik ended up catching Jey with a slingshot senton, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Jey ended up kicking out. Dominik went for a vertical suplex, but Jey ended up laying on his feet. Jey started punching away at Dominik, and he ended up hitting a hard right hand to Dominik. Jey then ended up kicking Dominik in his midsection, and he upcutted Dom, and then he dropped Dom with a step-up enziguri. So later on, Liv Morgan ended up running down, and she pulled Dominik out of the ring. Dominik ended up asking Liv what she's doing, and that led to Jey ended up hitting Dominik with a baseball slide. He ended up knocking Dom on top of Liv Morgan, and of course, this what happened last week. Liv Morgan turned Dominik over, and she had mounted Dominik. So Liv Morgan ended up going to kiss Dominik, but Rhea Ripley ended up charging down to the ring. Liv Morgan was like, shit. But you didn't hear it. You saw her mouth move and said shit. So Liv Morgan ended up running away, just like last week, ran through the crowd. Typical rinse and repeat here. So Dominik ended up trying to talk to Rhea Ripley, but she ended up telling Dominik to get into the ring. Jey immediately ended up hitting Dominik with the spear, and Jey went to the top rope. He delivered the Uso splash on Dominik, and he went for the cover, and there you go. Jey Uso ended up winning the match. But overall, decent match it was between Jey Uso and Dominik here. And then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Dominik was walking backstage. He was holding his head in pain. Damian Priest came up to Dominik. He ended up saying that it was rough watching him with Rhea Ripley. Rhea then walked up, and Damian Priest walked off. Rhea ended up saying to Dominik that she wants to get something straight. She doesn't belong to anyone, and that she's not Dominik's, and that Dominik is hers. So Rhea ended up handing Dominik a black rose, and Rhea ended up walking off, and Dominik was shown smiling at that. So, I guess Rhea forgives Dominik. And then we had Chad Gable. Chad Gable stood in the ring. Gable was on the mic. He ended up saying that he used his superior intellect and figured out the greatest mystery in WWE history. And that Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. Once again, no shit. So Chad Gable ended up saying that he cracked the case. And after everything Bo Dallas and the Freaks have put him through this past month, they're going to solve this problem now. So Chad Gable warned Bo Dallas to not make him wait. Bo Dallas then walked out. No music for Bo Dallas. So Bo Dallas ended up, coming down, and all of a sudden, Bo Dallas was attacked from behind by the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius Creed. So the Creeds ended up slamming Bo Dallas into the barricade a few times. Julius ended up driving Bo Dallas hard into the ring post, spine first. They then rolled Bo Dallas into the ring to Chad Gable's feet. So the Creed brothers stood tall with Chad Gable. Bo Dallas laid on the canvas in pain, and he was just laughing. He was just laughing like, ha, 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 ha. So Chad Gable ended up kicking Bo Dallas in the ribs. The Creeds ended up holding Bo Dallas up as Chad Gable started punching away at Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas then continued to laugh. Gable then directed the Creeds to hit Bo Dallas. Bruce then ended up lifting Bo Dallas onto his shoulders. Julius then ended up kneeing Bo Dallas in the face. And then Bruce ended up slamming Bo Dallas. Gable then ended up folding Bo Dallas up like an accordion with a German suplex. So Gable and the Creed stood tall. Bo Dallas continued to laugh. Gable then grabbed Bo Dallas' face, and he demanded to know what is so funny. Bo Dallas looked into Chad Gable's eyes, and he kept saying to Chad Gable, "There you are." So Gable backed up. The lights began to go out in the arena. Smoke filled the ring. Of course, the piano key played over and over again, and a bright light shined out from the stage. And we saw the other 4 members of the Wyatt Six walking out to the stage. So we had Nikki Cross holding the lantern up. They made their way to the ring. Chad Gable and the Creed brothers ended up preparing for a fight. So we had 3 men get on the apron of the Wyatt Six. And that led to Chad Gable and the Creed brothers retreating out of the ring. Bo Dallas got up. He ended up dropping to his knees in the ring. The Wyatt Six surrounded Bo Dallas, and they ended up posing. Bo Dallas ended up laughing. He extended his arms, like Bray used to do, and that was basically that. But overall, really enjoyed this segment here. Of course, like I said, Chad Gable, having the Creed brothers there, we all called it that, the Creeds were going to align with Chad Gable. I'm like, where is Ivy Nile here? Is Ivy Nile going to join them? Who knows? But of course, the Creeds finally turned heel here in this segment. Really like what they're doing with the Wyatt Six here. But it's going to lead to possibly a match at SummerSlam where it's going to be the Creeds and Chad Gable taking on, Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, and also either be Joe Gacy or Dexter Lumis. Because we know Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis are in the Wyatt Six. So hopefully they booked that match for SummerSlam. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, they went over what we're going to see next week on Monday Night Raw, where CM Punk is going to return. And we're also going to see Lyra Valkyria versus Sonya Deville. And a 6-man tag. Xavier Woods, Otis, and Akira Tozawa versus Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain. So that's all set for Monday Night Raw next week in Green Bay. Main event. Ilja Dragunov versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a good match here. So the match got underway. Both Dragunov and Sami Zayn end up circling the ring. They locked up. Sami ended up wrenching Dragunov's arm a few times. Dragunov ended up back into the corner. Sami Zayn ended up chopping Dragunov. And Sami whispered something in Dragunov's ear. Dragunov hooked the side headlock. He put Sami Zayn in the corner. And he ended up chopping at Sami Zayn's chest. So we had Dragunov end up charging at Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up sending Dragunov out of the ring. Sami then ended up kicking Dragunov back and connected with an Arabian Press. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Sami Zayn ended up knocking Dragunov to the corner. Dragunov fought out of the corner. And Sami Zayn ended up sending Dragunov into the ropes. Dragunov then rebounded with a Constantine special to Sami. So Dragunov ended up taking a few minutes to recover. And he ended up chopping Sami down. Dragunov then ended up delivering a running boot to Sami's face. Dragunov ended up going for a powerbomb, but Sami ended up landing on his feet. Sami springboarded over Dragunov and he clotheslined Dragunov down. Sami then powered Dragunov up, but Dragunov ended up putting a side headlock on Sami. Sami ended up trying to go for the Blue Thunder Bomb, but Dragunov ended up fighting out of it. Dragunov went for the Constantine Special, but Sami countered that into a Blue Thunder Bomb. He ended up going for the cover, and Dragunov kicked out. So Sami ended up pulling Dragunov up to his feet. Dragunov ended up greeting Sami with 3 kicks to his face. Dragunov then connected with a German suplex. Sami ended up quickly booting Dragunov back, and he ended up pinning an explosive suplex into the turnbuckles for Dragunov. Sami ended up going to the corner. He ended up going for the Helluva Kick, but Dragunov ended up booting Sami down. He ended up going for the cover, to which Sami ended up kicking out. So later on, Sami ended up grabbing Dragunov on the apron. He started punching Dragunov. Dragunov headbutted Sami back, but Sami ended up stunning Dragunov with a Helluva Kick, and he ended up knocking Dragunov off the apron to the floor. So Braun Breaker walked out. Braun Breaker then ended up charging at Dragunov, and he speared Dragunov down, to which the ref ended up calling for the bell. So Dragunov ended up winning the match by disqualification. And of course, Sami Zayn is still the Intercontinental Champion. Of course, we all know titles cannot change on the disqualification. So post-match, Sami ended up attacking Braun Breaker, and Sami ended up bouncing Breaker off the commentary table. Sami Zayn ended up getting Breaker in the ring. Breaker ended up quickly slamming Sami Zayn down. Breaker then took his shirt off, and he crisscrossed the ropes, and he connected with a spear to Sami Zayn. Breaker stood tall, and that was how Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, this was a good match between Sami Zayn and Dragunov here. Obviously, neither could have taken the loss here, so it made sense for Braun Breaker to come out there and, take out Dragunov, cause a disqualification, and then take out Sami Zayn. But overall, Monday Night Raw, solid show was tonight. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite. So see you then.